feel about that?
Well, that was one of the things that we were discussing online. Big budget doesn't necessarily equate to better training. No more than smaller budget equates to poorer training. Okay? Again, the quality of the content of the training material is paramount. You can go across several different states and find smaller law enforcement departments who are restricted with their budget, but because of creative training methods, they produce top quality training programs for their officers. And you can tell when you engage their officers that their training level is high. Conversely, I know of larger departments who have a good or strong training budget and produce a lower standard quality of officers. And this is both on the law enforcement side and on the security officer side, for example. So don't necessarily always equate bigger is better. Okay? You have to look at the quality of the content of the training material being provided.
And I know a lot of guys watch the video like saying, man, you guys are not really hitting the exacts. Let us understand something here. There's no way in the world we can tell you exactly everything to look for. What we're trying to give you is a great understanding of where to begin and what to look for. Because here's the thing, and I'll just keep something for you. Flip back about 3 or 4 videos and go look at my Tier 1 operator video. It don't take a whole lot to get a lot of training in.
Absolutely.
Leon brought to the range today an 8x5 11 sheet of paper that tested my skills. All it had on it was freaking dots. And I know some of you guys think, oh, that's the dot drill, somebody else's drill. No, it was different. But the whole point is this. Alright, it tested my skills on a little bitty piece of paper. I didn't need some water being sprayed in my face. Although, you know, those things are great. Those things are great indicators to get you going. But if that instructor doesn't understand the simple methodologies that really increase a person's skill, ask yourself, do you really need to be there? Do you really need to be in this class? What are you learning? Are you learning anything through their teaching methodologies? Because if you're not, you're wasting your time. What we're trying to prevent here is for you to stop thinking in the social media shooter mindset. Absolutely. And get outside of the freaking box and start thinking for yourself. So, are they practical?
Are they practical?
My goodness.
That is a huge question. From our side of the house with Spirit Security Concepts, our focus is on teaching home defense. So, with that in mind, everything that we share with our students is geared with that particular purpose in mind. It doesn't do me any good to teach my students information about 3-gun competition if they're coming to be looking for information regarding home defense. Not saying there's anything wrong with 3-gun competition information. I'm just saying it's not practical to the purpose for why my students came. Conversely, the same thing happens on security and public safety side of the house. The information and the training that you receive has to be practical to your application. If it doesn't work in the real world, practical application that's easy to process and deliver, then again, as Steve was pointing out, you're wasting your time.
And one thing you understand is something I learned from a millionaire, not some shooter or somebody else. This is exactly what he told me to my face. And he probably got it from somebody else. Who cares? It was a great freaking quote. He said, you see that guy doing master violinist? He said, man, it's so wonderful, isn't it? He said, everybody wants to be that master violinist, but they're never willing to put in the work to get to where that person, started from. Look at his fingers now today. His fingers are all freaking scabbed up and calloused up because he has been spending years after years after years, probably been told a million times, probably been let down by so many people who didn't want to sit down and listen to him play the violin just so he could get some feedback from people he knew. I mean, you got to think about this. And let me, something just hit my head right now because I'm guessing that somebody needs to hear this. But think about this, all right? Because my daughter does it to me all the time. You sit at home and your child's tapping, daddy, mommy, daddy, listen to me. Can I read to you? This is the problem with our generation now, where here we are, have opportunities presented before us to do it right, but we don't even take time for our own kids and our own loved ones to present it to them properly. But yet, we see some cool fascination TV screen that shows us to go shoot ARs 50 times in 1 minute, and we shoot 50 cows, and we shoot guns, pow, 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 and we're ready to run and do that. But again, here we are. You're never willing to take the time to practice those things. You're never willing to take the time to go sit through a basic NRA first steps class. Why? Because it's just a bunch of books and reading a bunch of rules and reading a bunch of law. But you're not willing to do that, but yet you want to be at Z already.
Right. Absolutely.
You can't do that.
They want to jump from A to Z and miss all the alphabet in between. And you know, one of the things that we on occasion see at certain classes is that you'll have the guy who's real excited about coming to that first class, and they come to that first class and, you know, they learn all the basic stuff, and we impart on them, well, listen, understand this. This is a basic class. There are more advanced skills that you probably want to add to your toolbox if you're serious about being able to survive the fight. One of the statements that my good friend Steve likes to make sure he imparts: win the fight. So there's certain skills that you need to add to your toolbox if you expect to win the fight, survive, and go home at the end of the incident. But that's the only class they take, is that introductory course. They've taken that introductory course and feel like that's all they needed to know to be able to go out in the real world against a criminal mindset who has been doing what he does for years.
And
He's
every
a
day.
pro at what he does.
Every day. He practices every day. He steals.
He's a master of what he does.
He's probably been locked up 20 times. And guess what? Now he knows the system. He knows the legality. He even knows it better than you.
Exactly.
He knows how to fake out the police. But getting back to the point that we're making here is, are they freaking practical?
Is it practical?
Are they giving you what you would need to survive in your situation? Your situation is different than my situation.
Your situation is unique to you.
I'm not a jeweler. I won't be walking with $100,000 worth of jewels down the street. You're somebody who's going to need more training. Leon carries his gun, I'm sure, every day. I carry my gun every day. I need to stay in a state of awareness. I mean, in a heightened state of awareness, because if somebody gets up hand on me, guess how many guns we have in that fight already? We got
Absolutely.
at least mine.
At least one.
At least one. And we got problems.
Absolutely.
Am I being practical for me every single day? All right? When I look at that cool video, does it apply? Have you ever seen yourself walking down the street with a slung AR? If you can't see it and it's not practical, don't waste your time and freaking money. Go to one of Leon's classes. He's teaching home defense with that AR.
Absolutely.
Home defense with that long gun. That's what you're going to be using it at. That's what you need to be learning. If you want to come to public safety, you want to come to SWAT team stuff, come on, I got you. But the point is, I'm not going to teach you stuff that's outside of your box, because it does not make any sense. A lot of security officers come through training and they want to go do all the cool stuff in my videos. I tell them, look, if you want to do it, we'll do it on another day. But right now you're in here for basic training. Okay? When you get to that point, we'll practically get into all that cool stuff. Because yes, you need to learn how to fire under stress. Yes, you need to learn how to perform when your heart rate is up. Those things. But we ain't gonna waste too much time. Move on. Last but not least, guys, and this is probably the most important part of what we can share with you, and that's freaking standards. Alright? Here's the problem with the industry today. Hey, Mr. Turner, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, man. How can I help you? Hey, look, man, can I just come to class for 1 hour? What they do that at? Dude, there's a standard for a reason.
Absolutely.
Okay? Standards are so that me and Leon don't get people killed.
Absolutely.
Alright, well, what's your thought on it?
Well, the civilian's version to that is, you get the phone call, and on the other end is the guy who was being ordered by the court to take the class.
Wow.
Because he had a firearm permit that through some negligent act that he committed, he lost. And the court says, well, in order for you to get that back, you need to take a firearm safety class. So he wants to know, well, can I just pay you the money you write me a certificate? Absolutely not. I cannot and I will not. That's not how we do things. Likewise, standards have been set. If you intend to take our class, understand that there are standards that we have that before we put our name on that certificate saying, yes, you were a student in our class, you have had to have met those standards, and in most cases we're going to expect you to exceed them before we sign that certificate saying that, yeah, you're good to go from us.
And let me help you guys understand what a standard is, not just what we're talking about. Here's a standard, okay? Standard in the state of Georgia to get your concealed weapons permit is nothing, okay? That means that anybody can go out and get a freaking card that says, I can carry a weapon. That is not a standard, okay? A standard is when you go into a class, let's take NRA law enforcement, okay? Law enforcement division. You have a certain criteria that you must pass in order to pass that class. You think they give a darn if you don't shoot inside that box? Heck no. They take your $600 and say, you tried 4 times, I'm sorry, you don't get to pass. Okay?
Absolutely.
Go to the military. You gotta have certain type of shave, certain type of everything.
Even with their firearms, they have 2 criteria in the military. Go or no go. There's no middle grade, there's no, well, you did 80%. You either passed or you did not. Period. So there's no sliding scale.
And all you do, make sure that there's a freaking standard to be followed. Here's another thing that one of our partners told us is that, think about this. Any class you go to, no matter, let's say if me and Leon would conglomerate the same company teaching the same thing or the same lesson plan. Each student that walks out of that door should understand everything the same,
Absolutely.
No matter if Leon taught it or Steve taught it.
Absolutely.
The point is the standard was the same, so the end result was the same.
Absolutely.
And no matter what, you got to make sure that that standard is correct. Now, how do you know? Ask them where the standard get created from. Okay, ask questions.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Your biggest
Where
asset.
did you get that from?
Your biggest asset.
Dude, where'd you come up with that drill? Dude, where'd you learn that training principle? Ask freaking questions. That's y'all's problem. Y'all zoned into the tunnel vision of the cool, but y'all never want to sit back and say, dang, man, I look cool, but what the heck is that for?
Right.
What's that for?
When am I ever going to use that?
It ain't practical. Well, I think we've come to a conclusion. You got any closing argument, sir?
Watch out for the social media shooters.
Stop it.
Just because it looks good on social media, don't mean it's good for you.
Stop it. Y'all make sure, man.
Cut it out.
Seriously.
Cut it out.
Look, you don't have to go to Leon, you don't have to go to Steve. Get some professional training where you have asked all these questions, that they give you definitive answers, not the yeah, okay. No, get some real freaking answers, understand what they're giving you and why, and then you make the decision. Don't let your mind see something pretty. Guess what? I tell my children all the time, the daddy is free. No. That's advertisement. I said, nothing in this world is free. They're going to get you some kind of way.
Absolutely.
If they invite you to come down for a free vacation, guess what? They're going to sit your butt down through that 1 hour and 30-minute presentation.
Absolutely.
And you're going to got to listen.
You're paying some way, somehow.
So stop with the social media bull crap, and you guys get your mind right. Y'all do it right. I'm out.
That's what's up.
Boom.